All right, hello everyone, it's silverkyle, and today we're going to be taking a look at everything that I'm hoping to read in the month of November 2024. Now, I have two notes here. The first one being, this isn't everything that I hope to read in the month of November, because there's two book ones here, and I want to continue the series in this month. Now, I know this is a crazy amount of books to read, plus more, but it's because, point two, I've started reading a few of these. 6 months ago, I got into the really bad habit of starting 5 books at the same time, and I'm slowly getting through that backlog. One of those books is here, and then I started another 2 books because we're a few days into November, and 2 days ago I started reading 2 of these books right here. So we're going to start off with, and then this is the book that I had started a few months ago, and I just really need to finish that this month. So let's start off with a book that I started 2 days ago that I'm really enjoying, and that I'm very happy I've started, and that is Dune. And it's surprising because it was published in the 60s, and it doesn't feel like a 60s sci-fi book. It's really easy to read other than the words to describe the people. They keep talking about these different kinds of people to kind of, continue on with the world building, and it's just going over the top of my head. I don't feel like I need to necessarily understand everything because I'm reading it and I understand that there's so much more going on with the story and the characters that I'm getting it. I'm getting the gist of it without even understanding a lot of the terms for who these people are, what they represent. Like this mother's a specific kind of people, and I don't care. I just don't care to learn it because to me it doesn't. I don't need to know it yet. Maybe that'll change. Because I'm only 80 pages out of like a 600-page book, a little over 600 pages, I think. And I'm getting the gist of it. It is a house in an empire that there's a lot of emphasis on the son, who's a 15-year-old prince, I guess. And the mother is very important to the story as well. Those are the two biggest main characters, from what I gather, is the mother and her son. Who kind of goes through these tests to kind of see how powerful he's going to be. It sounds like he could be a potential chosen one because a lot of the females in this bloodline generally have daughters because they're more powerful than what the sons can be. But if you have a son, there's a chance that he could be this chosen one or prophesied, specific, very powerful individual male, from what I'm gathering here. And it sounds like he could potentially be that. And there's a lot more going on that I don't want to spoil because nothing really has happened here. It's just kind of your introduction, but they're setting something up that will be happening once they get to Dune, which is they're from this one planet and they're kind of going over to Dune, which is a sand planet where there's not a lot of water, and there's something big that's heading towards them getting there. So I'm curious to see where this is going to go. I'm just not super into it, but it's relatively easy to read considering it's from the 60s. It's sci-fi from the 60s. I expected it to be a lot more heavy duty. The terms of what the people are is very complicated. But other than that, it's good and easy enough to follow. Next up that I started also just 2 days ago as well, and that is Sherry Lapina's What Have You Done? This is a 2024 mystery novel, I would say. Basically, there is a farmer that kind of is plowing his fields, and he sees that there's a bunch of vultures flying around this thing on the ground. He thinks it's just an animal corpse that ends up being like a 17-year-old girl. So he calls the cops in, and then we kind of figure out who she is. She's from this specific high school, and we kind of see the fallout of her being murdered, or the people around this small town finding out that she was murdered, and how it affects like the boyfriend's parents, her mother, her best friends, and their circle, the teachers. And you really don't know. We have no idea who the heck has killed her, why they've killed her. So I read a lot of Sherry Lapina. I think I've read everything from her except for one of her books. And it's very easy reads. It's a mystery novel that I feel I can just pick up and read a crazy amount. I'm probably 55 pages into this book so far. It's a little over 300 pages, and I feel like I can just burn through this in 2 seconds. Another one that I started a long time ago, or the other one that I started a long time ago, is The Trials of the Empire by Richard Swan. This is book 3 of The Empire of the Wolf. I've mentioned this one a few times before, so I will be definitely finishing this up finally this month. So that's everything that I've started. Now, if I get more time. I'm obviously going to, well, I figure that I'll be able to read those three no problem. But the next one after that will be John Gwen's Shadow of the Gods, which is book 1 of the Bloodsworn saga, which is going to be a trilogy. The third one, I think, just recently came out, and that finishes up the trilogy. So if I enjoy this, I will continue and hopefully start book 2 at the end of November. This, to me, as far as I know, is just one big fantasy epic. And as you can see, the cover of this is beautiful. This massive dragon, this one dude. I don't know if that's actually going to happen. I hope that's the case. We're going to see. And last but not least, if things go well and I read all of this, I decided to add Death Note. And this is book 1, or I guess the Black Edition 1, which is volumes 1 and 2. I have read volumes 1 and 2 of Death Note 3 times now, and I'm going to be reading it again because I keep reading it in hopes that I'm going to finish it. And I have the all-in-one edition, which is this gigantic version of, I think, 12 volumes, 13 volumes of Death Note? I can't remember how many there are. But at the time, that's all that was available. I had started an individual run of 1, 2, and 3. And then I got this as well because I was like, well, it's bigger papers, so I can actually read. Let's just kind of show you that it's good sized, so I wanted to read it that way. And then both the individual volumes and the black editions had run out of print, so I got the all-in-one edition, which is cool that they were able to put all of that in one, but it's not practical. And I had started reading that again a few months ago, and it was good, but I was like, I would much rather be reading it in the bigger editions. And now I just looked online and they have the individual volumes and also the black editions available. So I think I'm just going to start this. If it's really intriguing me, I want more, I'll continue reading the rest of it. And I hope that I could finish that in this month. If not, next month, the whole series of Death Note. So that's pretty much everything that I hope to read in the month of November. It is a lot, but like I said, I've started a lot of these already, and I mean, we're getting some manga here. I can run through manga fairly quickly, much quicker than I can a regular book. So yeah, let's see how this goes, and let me know if you've read any of these or what you're planning to read in the month of November. Thank you all for watching. You have been bearded in. Beardage.